Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to break down a really powerful technique for dealing with that constant chatter in your head. And the best part? It's not based on any belief system. It's just a practical skill, a mental reflex you can build to pull yourself out of those thought loops and get back to right here, right now.
Okay, let's just start with a simple question, but one that's actually kind of deep. Are you fully here, right now? Or is part of your brain off somewhere else?
Yeah, because for most of us, most of the time, the answer is we're trapped. We're caught up in a story, a loop of thoughts about something that happened yesterday or all the things we're worried about for tomorrow.
All right, so first up, let's really get into what we even mean by these stories and figure out why they have such an incredible grip on our attention.
So, what is a story? Well, it's that voice in your head, right? The one that's constantly replaying that awkward thing you said or rehearsing a tough conversation you have to have tomorrow. It's that running commentary of self-criticism. That's the story, and it can just trap us on a loop without us even realizing.
And man, this is such a perfect way to think about the cost, right? Imagine a quarterback who throws a terrible interception. If they're still thinking about that, if they're trapped in the story of that mistake, what do you think happens on the very next play? Our goal is to build that same mental reflex, to let go of the last play and just reset moment by moment.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we actually break the loop? Well, the whole technique is based on a beautifully simple truth about where you are right this second.
And this is really the whole key right here. Your thoughts can be anywhere, the past, the future, some fantasy world. But a physical sensation, that can only happen now. It's real-time data that proves you're in the present. It's your anchor to reality.
And this just lays it all out, side by side, super clearly. On the one hand, you're lost in a story, stuck on a loop, and your mental bandwidth is just shot. But when you're grounded in sensation, boom. You're aware, you're getting real-time data, your bandwidth opens way up, and you're actually ready for whatever comes next. Okay, now we're getting to the really practical part, because this whole practice focuses on one specific, almost ridiculously simple spot to anchor our attention. So here it is. The anchor point is just the physical feeling of your breath right there on your upper lip and at the entrance of your nostrils. And look, you're not trying to control your breathing or anything fancy. Your body knows how to breathe. You're just noticing the raw data. Yep, my lip is there, and hey, there's air moving. That's it.
And there are basically 3 killer reasons why this weird little spot works so well. First, it's neutral. Your brain doesn't have a bunch of drama or opinions about your upper lip, so it's hard to get stuck in a story about it. Second, it gets louder when you need it most. When you get stressed, your breathing changes, and that sensation becomes stronger, like a little beacon. And third, practicing with something so subtle makes your overall awareness way, way sharper.
Okay, pay attention here because this next part is absolutely crucial. It gets to the single biggest mistake people make. This isn't about forcing your mind into a cage.
You know the feeling, right? You try this, and the second your mind wanders, you think, ugh, I'm so bad at this. You try to fight your thoughts, to wrestle them into submission. But here's the secret. Your mind wandering isn't a failure. It's actually the whole point of the training.
So, what if you took a totally different approach? What if the goal wasn't to win some battle against your own mind? Let's try a metaphor, because this makes it all click. Imagine you've set up your camera to take a picture of a beautiful sunrise. That sunrise, that's your anchor. That sensation on your upper lip, it's your main point of interest. And what happens when you're trying to take a picture? Of course, something's going to fly into the frame. A flock of geese just swoops right through your shot. Those geese, those are your thoughts. They're natural, they're not your fault, they just showed up. So here's the move, the big reframe. Instead of getting mad at the geese and yanking your camera away, you just zoom out a little. You widen the frame. Now you've got a picture with both the sunrise and the geese. You include them both, without any judgment. The practice is about expanding your awareness, not crushing your thoughts. So, what does this look like in real life? The great news is, this is all about building a reflex. It's not about achieving some perfect state of Zen bliss.
So here's the most important part to remember. Every single time you notice your mind has drifted off to the geese, that moment of noticing, that's the win. That's the exercise right there. You don't get mad, you just gently, kindly re-include the sunrise, your anchor, back into your awareness.
It's a skill that might get a little rusty, but you never actually forget how to do it. And you don't have to go meditate on a mountaintop for an hour. Seriously, we're going for consistency here, not duration. Just 5 minutes, maybe a couple times a day, is totally enough to start building that mental muscle. It's all about those small, repeatable moments.
And really, that leaves us with this final thought, this one big question. The whole practice really comes down to this. When you finally stop turning your own mind into a battlefield, when you just allow the sunrise and the geese to be in the same picture, what happens then? And that's not really a question to be answered. It's one to be experienced.